By getting outbid on multiple offer situations, we're going to be covering how to win a bid when you're up against other potential bidders when you bid on a property on an Austin home in today's show. Join us in just a second.
Welcome to Austin Realty Behind the Scenes with Ryan Rodenbeck.
My name is Ryan Rodenbeck, and I am joined by my associate, Matt Edwards. And today we're going to cover how to win a multiple offer situation on an Austin home.
Which is important, especially now.
Which is especially important. The numbers are that we have about 2 months worth of inventory in Austin, which is dangerously low. So this is very important. So the very first, this is going to be a two-part series here, a two-part segment, if you will. The very first part is how to choose the right mortgage lender, assuming you are getting a loan, which most people are, right? So the first thing that you need to know if you're not paying cash is, number one, do not go with a big bank. And when I say big bank, we're talking Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, any national bank that is too big to fail, if you will, right? People ask about this all the time.
Now you say that. Now, what's the main reason that they should stay away from using and getting mortgages from the big banks?
Yeah, well, for a couple reasons. One, the person that takes your intake form, if you will, when you get qualified for a loan, is not going to be the person you're dealing with. It's shuffled through a national, database or national department, if you will. And I've seen this so many times. You start with a loan officer in Austin, and next thing you know, you're dealing with a processor in Florida, right?
So basically, you become a number in the system.
Yeah,
which you don't want.
Right, and too many cooks in the kitchen. And secondly, these guys, bankers, you ever heard the term banker's hours? It's because they work 9 to 5. You know, there are exceptions to this, but they're very few and far between. So that's the reason you don't want to work with a big bank. That's one reason. Number two is you want someone local on the scene with a great reputation, okay? And that's number two on this. Go with someone local that is highly reviewed. We use Max Lehman with the Lehman team in Austin, okay? We've been using him for several years.
Now, by doing that and using Max and his reputation in Austin, will that give the potential home buyer leverage going into a multiple offer situation?
Absolutely, and especially with someone who is as highly reviewed, highly known as Max. You know, we have literally won multiple offer situations. It's been a deciding factor because his letterhead was on the listing. And on the flip side, as a listing agent, I've actually chosen offers that were very similar to each other and picked Max because it was Max's letter on the pre-qualification over the Bank of America letter, right?
Okay, and just kind of thinking out loud here, he may be the top producing agent, but that's not, or the loan producer in Austin, but that's not why his credibility is so good. It's because when he does his due diligence and gives the client a pre-approval letter, he's going to close.
Yeah, and you know, that goes back to like the questions of a lender, right? And so question number one is, when you send me a pre-qualification letter, this is what you're asking your lender. When you send a pre-qualification letter, are you confident in everything that you've seen to know that I can qualify? Forget the property, put the property aside. Those are other issues. And the reason we ask this is because it's very common for a lender to check someone's credit, to maybe go through 1 or 2 of the 10 things that they need to go through. I mean, there's assets, there's liabilities, you know.
So basically, from what I'm gathering, a lot of these people are just trying to get the client and get them, oh yeah, you're pre-approved, without bombarding them with, 10 different things. And hey guys, we need to make sure all this is done, because some clients or potential home buyers may be like, well, I'm going to go with the guy who wants less paperwork, even though that paperwork is going to be necessary.
You're right.
No matter what. So you might as well do it and get it done at the very, very beginning of the process. That way, there's nothing hiding in the background that could potentially kill the deal for you to find the home that you want to buy.
Yeah, and I've had clients say to me at times, Max is asking for a whole lot of stuff. Well, yeah, he's asking for a whole lot of stuff on the front end, so you don't have to deal with this in the back end. Most of the deals I've had that have had problems when it was related to the person being able to be financed have to do with the fact that the lender just didn't get everything they needed up front.
And just me personally, I would rather do it all up front. That way I know everything's done, and when I do find that home, I know I can buy it. Whereas, if I found the home and all the paperwork wasn't done and something fell through, all that preparation and you fell in love with the home and all that, just
you're setting yourself up for heartache.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 2: are you confident that if I put 0 days for third-party financing, that you'll still get my deal done? Now, we're going to go over this in segment 2 of this broadcast, but what that means is there's certain terms on the financing, on the contract. One of them is a third-party financing, meaning you're going to get a loan, right? One of the tools we're going to teach you in segment 2 is that put 0 days for financing. And all that you're asking a lender to do is you're asking the same thing in question 1. Are you confident in my financing? Very simple, right? Question 3, how fast can you close? Guys, when we go into segment 2 of this, what we're going to be assuming is, as the subject of the title show is called, that you're in a multiple offer situation, and then you're competing against cash. The only way to keep competing with cash, there's a lot more terms on a deal that is financed than there is one that's cash. Mm-hmm. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be basically negating the terms that compete with a cash offer. So quick close is about one of the number one things.
Right. I mean, and that's when I go in and purchase, put offers on for clients and I'm doing cash. I'm always doing, 14-day closes.
Yeah.
Because it gives you a leg up.
Mm-hmm.
And also there's no appraisals involved. There's a lot less stuff that's involved when you're going in cash. So if you're going in with a mortgage, you're going to have to figure out other ways to strengthen that offer and make it more appealing to the seller, that so they may accept the offer with financing versus the cash offer.
Absolutely. We're going to go all over those terms in just a second, right? The last thing that we ask is, can you get an appraisal back very fast? Okay. And again, this is going to be going to the terms we're about to go over in just a minute here. But one of those terms is going to be, if you're going over list price, to bring the difference between the appraisal price and the contract price in cash. One of the ways to make sure that you're not going to lose a whole lot of money is to get the appraisal fast. So you want to ask your lender, how fast can you get the appraisal?
So what is fast and what is slow?
Typically, the average days for appraisal from the time it's ordered is 7 days. Okay. Sometimes they can get them in 3 to 5. So, all right. So we're going to go into part 2 of this, which is structuring your offer to compete in a multiple offer situation.
You've been watching Austin Realty Behind the Scenes with Ryan Rodenbeck. Thank you for joining us.